Hey guys, sorry for the interruption we had in your last session. So, നമ്മൾ എവിടെയാണോ നിർത്തിയത് അവിടുന്ന് തന്നെ തുടങ്ങാം. നമ്മൾ ഡെമോക്രാറ്റൈസേഷൻ ഓഫ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ആസ് എ ഫീച്ചർ അതാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. എന്താണ് ഡെമോക്രാറ്റൈസേഷൻ ഓഫ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ? ബേസിക്കലി നമ്മൾ HUF ൽ കണ്ടു there is something called social capital. ആ ഫാമിലിയുടെ each and every individual when they contribute, that is called social capital. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ when it is a company നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു it's an association of persons, more than one person. Partnership പോലെയല്ല, company can have many number of persons, many number of shareholders. So അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ you have that advantage of sourcing funds from various parties. പുറത്തുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ, ജനാധിപത്യം, ഡെമോക്രറ്റൈസേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? ജനാധിപത്യം. ഇഷ്ടം പോലെ ആൾക്കാരുടെ നിന്ന് you can bring in the money. That is called democratization of capital. So that's a feature of company. And then we have Companies Act 2013, which takes care of the functioning of the company, whereas SEBI takes care of the regulation of capital markets. Companies Act 2013 കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? That you will see in your company law paper. So it is an act enacted by the parliament which takes care of the functioning of the company. Company maitla related every compliances, the nuances, everything is discussed in that particular act. And the provisions അനുസരിച്ച് മാത്രമേ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഒരു കമ്പനിക്ക് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. Then you have SEBI. എന്താണ് SEBI? Securities and Exchange Board of India. See, പറഞ്ഞ abbreviations, okay, it's better that you could, write in your running notes. SEBI എന്താണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? SEBI takes care of regulation of capital markets. എന്താണ് capital markets? Share market. Simply put, it is share market. Share marketil കമ്പനിയുടെ presence ഉണ്ട് എങ്കിൽ അതുമായിട്ട് related, when the company is interacting with share market, there is another regulator which will be overseeing the company. That regulator is called Securities and Exchange Board. നമ്മുടെ RBI ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ബാങ്ക്സിനെ എല്ലാം ഓവർസീ ചെയ്യുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ SEBI oversees entire companies in India. So ഈ രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് കമ്പനിയെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Whereas in case of LLP, it is LLP Act 2008 and MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Then, third point, MOA spells out the objectives of the company, whereas AOA provides for the internal regulations. എന്താണ് MOA എന്നും AOA എന്നും നോക്കാം. MOA is the abbreviation for Memorandum of Association. Likewise, AOA is the abbreviation for Articles of Association. എന്താണ് MOA, AOA? In MOA, the basic objective of a company is written down. For example, if you take the case of a tire manufacturing company, ആ കമ്പനിയെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഇതിന്റെ MOA, മെമ്മോറാണ്ടം നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you will see the basic objective of this company is to produce tire and its ancillary components, tire and tubes, everything. So അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബ്രോഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഐഡിയ, എന്തിനാണ് ഈ ബിസിനസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത്, വാട്ട്സ് ദ പർപ്പസ് ഓഫ് ദിസ് ബിസിനസ് എന്നൊക്കെയാണ് ഈ MOA പറയുന്നത്. AOA എന്താണ്? ആർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ഓഫ് അസോസിയേഷൻ. Articles of association. In Articles of Association, you can see the entire regulatory aspect, the internal regulatory aspect of the company. Company ഉള്ളിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഫങ്ഷൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. കമ്പനി, ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, കമ്പനിയുടെ ബോർഡ് മീറ്റിംഗ് എന്നാണ്, എത്ര ഫ്രീക്വൻസിയിൽ വേണം, ഒരു മെമ്പേഴ്സ് തമ്മിൽ ഒരു കൺസെൻസസ് ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹൗ ടു ബിൽഡ് the consensus, decision making, employee retrenchment strategy, employee absorption strategy. It's a very broad document. MOA might be maybe like 1 to 2 pages, but AOA would be very vast, running to 20, 40 pages, depending upon the company. So that is the basic difference. All these things you will learn in broader terms when you come to the when it comes to your company law paper. Okay, all right. Then you have prospectus. What is prospectus? Prospectus is the document which solicits capital contribution. For a company, there is democratization of capital. What do you mean by that? Company can source funds from outside parties. For the general public company fund. It is meant for public limited companies. Public limited companies now, from anyone who is dealing in the market. Market that is for public limited, whereas private limited is closely held. This prospectus is something which is meant for public limited company. Public paisa mediche capital konduvarunna companies public limited companies. So for the public limited company, whenever they go to the market, you take additional capital. Whenever they reach out to the market, there is a document which solicits the capital. Whenever you are trying to bring in other persons to your business, you should tell them that yes, my business is very good. My business has a very good earning capability, earning potential on the convince document. It is the marketing. You market your company. You market your company's potential to earn revenue. What am I going to do in your future to earn more profit? That's a detailed document. Prospectus in the way. Not here, in your company law. So prospectus, just please hold on to this catchy words. Dark and cheesy. I mean, this bold words, please give attention. Please give more attention. Okay, explanations. Okay, you will remember, but these words are what matters in your exams, because that is it's objective questions, no? So please put double attention onto this. Then statutory audit of the company and publication of quarterly results of the company helps owners to be well informed of the company. And whenever the company is able to source funds from general public in the fund but in the company, basically public limited companies. Public limited companies, there is statutory audit. Niyamaparamai Anushasikkuna audit. Companies Act 2013 statutory audit is mandatory for all companies. Public companies private companies statutory audit on. But quarterly results declaration is something which is exclusive for private limited company. Sorry, public limited company. Audit rendu perkum undu, but quarterly result declaration is basically for public company which are listed in stock exchange. Because karanam endana, nammada financial results general public in ariyanam, because they have invested in the company. The only source of information about the company's running is the financial statements. So they have to be well informed about the running of the company. So the quarterly results mandatory. Statutory audit audit is where an auditor, an independent auditor gives an opinion about the financial statements. Financial statements he will say whether the financial statements are giving a true and fair view of the financial position and performance of the company. It's a core subject as such. So you will learn more about it in your intermediate level and of course final. So statutory audit normal simply put athrodu. Financial statement correct ആയിട്ടാണോ മാനേജ്മെന്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത് എന്നുള്ള ഒരു opinion from an independent outsider. An independent outsider, which is basically a chartered accountant. അത് പറയുന്ന ആ ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സിനെയാണ് സ്റ്റാറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി ഓഡിറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ സ്റ്റാറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി ഓഡിറ്റും ക്വാർട്ടർലി റിസൾട്ട്സ് ഡിക്ലറേഷനും മാൻഡേറ്ററി ആണ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് മാൻഡേറ്റഡ് ആസ് പെർ കമ്പനീസ് ആക്ട് 2013. ഇനി സെബി എന്താണ്? സെബി ഓവർസീസ് ദി സബ്സിക്വന്റ് ട്രേഡിംഗ് ഓഫ് ഷെയർസ് ഇൻ ദി സ്റ്റോക്ക് മാർക്കറ്റ്. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, സെബി ഈസ് ദി മാർക്കറ്റ് വാച്ച് ഡോഗ്. RBI is a watchdog of banks എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചതുപോലെ SEBI is the market watchdog for companies in India. Subsequent trading ഒക്കെ മോണിറ്റർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് SEBI ആണ്. Cost of compliance is higher for public limited companies as private limited company shares are closely held and the owners have more participation in the functioning of the company. Cost of compliance. What do you mean by cost of compliance? This Companies Act 2013 contains lot of regulations. It requires every company to do certain things and inform the public as well as to the regulator, as well as to the MCA, that these things are compliant. For rules and regulations abide ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്ന് കാണിക്കണം. So for that, there are certain rules which prescribe for public company, which necessitates the creation of various committees, pala committee, audit committee, remuneration committee, auditors committee. There are lot of procedural compliance for public limited company. Public companies ne maatrame ullu. Private companies ne relatively lesser compliance aspects are. കാരണം എന്താണ്? ബേസിക്കലി പ്രൈവറ്റ് കമ്പനീസിന് വേറൊരു പേരാണ് ക്ലോസ്ലി ഹെൽഡ് കമ്പനി. വിച്ച് മീൻസ് വാട്ട്? കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരെ ഉള്ളൂ അതിൻ്റെ അത്. The maximum number of persons that can be accommodated in a private limited company is 200. So 200 പേരുള്ള ഒരു കമ്പനിയെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ലക്ഷക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാരുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കമ്പനിയെ വെച്ച് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 200 പേരുള്ള കമ്പനിക്ക് അതിന്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ എന്താ നടക്കുന്നത് they can even go and check. They have better idea because it's closely held company. കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരേ ഉള്ളൂ. So they can reasonably understand what is going on. But public limited companies അങ്ങനെയാണോ? No, there are wider market participation. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ stringent rules and regulations ഉണ്ട് to protect their rights. ആരുടെ? Public in there, whoever has invested money in this public company. അതുകൊണ്ട് compliance of rules and regulations are more in public limited company. Since there are lot of compliance issues, there is a cost associated to it. For example, quarterly declaration, quarterly financial statement preparation and audit. Adinellam auditors, they have to give a certificate, they have to give an audit opinion. So അതിനൊക്കെ audit fee കൊടുക്കണ്ടേ? Whereas for the private limited company, there is only one audit, annual audit. Obviously, എവിടെയായിരിക്കും audit fee കൂടുതൽ? For public limited company. So cost of compliance is more when it comes to public limited company compared to private limited. So that's about it, guys. നമ്മുടെ chapter കൊണ്ട് തീരുന്നു. As I told you, we will crack all the exams, all the questions, the study material. So let us go to the study material. Okay, guys, normally study material date, each and every single page, each and every single para, we have gone through in detail. Onnum miss agayilla, everything. It was an all comprehensive coverage. But I think I have missed this last portion. features of private company in relation to public company. Just it was not there. So let me just run you through this. Minimum number of members. Partnership minimum number എത്രയാണ് 2 പേര്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ private limited companies ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഫോം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് we require minimum 2 persons. Public limited 7 പേര്. ഈ numbers ഒക്കെ ഓർത്ത് വെക്കണം, very important. Maximum number of members. Private limited ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു 200, only 200 because it's a closely held company. Public limited unlimited, just like LLP. Then the restrictions on transfer of shares. Private limited is restricted because ഈ shareholders എല്ലാം കൂടെ ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്ത് അവരുടെ കൺസെൻസസിൽ എത്തിയാൽ മാത്രമേ ഒരാളുടെ ഷെയർ വേറൊരാൾക്ക് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റൂ. But is that the case with public limited company? No, because the shares are traded in the market. Marketil available ആണ്. Whoever has money, they can go and buy from persons, from the shareholders who are willing to sell. So, share transfer ചെയ്യാനതിന് restrictions ഉണ്ട് for a private limited company, but for public limited company restrictions ഉണ്ടോ? No restrictions. Then minimum number of directors. എത്ര number of directors? 2 പേര് വെച്ച് തുടങ്ങിയ private limited companyക്ക് minimum 2 directors എങ്കിലും വേണം. Or public limited company, 1 more, 3. Then private limited companies are exempted from constituting such committees such as board of directors, as audit committee, CSR committee, stakeholder committee. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു പല committees public limited companies ഉണ്ട്. It is mandated, whereas for a private limited company, all these committees are not required. The committees are basically for better monitoring of the company. Okay. Limited companies ആൾക്കാർ കൂടുതലാണ്. സോ അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഷെയർഹോൾഡേഴ്സിന്റെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് കാത്തു സൂക്ഷിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയാണ് ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കമ്മിറ്റികളെല്ലാം. അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. കോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് കംപ്ലയൻസ് അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് കൂടുതൽ. Then it can start business upon incorporation. ആർക്കാണ് business? Just with there is something called certificate of incorporation. കമ്പനിയിൽ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയിട്ട് പഠിക്കും. Certificate of incorporation എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സംഭവം when the private limited company obtains, the next day, the next moment, they can start the business. But for a public limited company, incorporation certificate matram madiyo business start cheyan? Of course not, because the law mandates certificate of commencement of business. Incorporation certificate kittiyani shesham you will get certificate of commencement of business. Adinu shesham matrame you can start your business. Public limited companies, notice to put it, that's it. Okay guys, so idana nammade entire chapter തീർന്നിരിക്കുന്നു. Now we will go to each and every question. Multiple choice questions ആണല്ലോ, very simple. നോക്കാം നമുക്ക്. First one, consider the following table showing columns of the nature of economic occupation and the corresponding characterization of income, and then choose the right solution option from the alternatives given below the table. എന്താണ് നമ്മുടെ ലെഫ്റ്റ് ഹാൻഡ് സൈഡിൽ എക്കണോമിക് ഒക്യുപ്പേഷൻ, പല ഡിഫറെന്റ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് എക്കണോമിക് ഒക്യുപ്പേഷൻ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടു. ആ ഒക്യുപ്പേഷൻ തന്നിരിക്കുന്നു, അതിന്റെ റിവാർഡ്, ഓരോ ഒക്യുപ്പേഷനും കിട്ടുന്ന റിവാർഡിന്റെ പേര് ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആണ്. സോ ആ റിവാർഡ്സ് ആണ് റൈറ്റ് ഹാൻഡ് സൈഡിൽ തന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. സോ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് മാച്ച് ചെയ്യുക? മാച്ച് ദ ഫോളോയിങ് ആണ് ബേസിക്കലി. സോ നമുക്ക് ഫസ്റ്റ് നോക്കാം. ആദ്യത്തേത് എംപ്ലോയ്മെന്റ്. ജോലിക്ക് പോയാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്ത് കിട്ടും? സാലറി അല്ലെ? സാലറി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വേജസ്. അത് റൈറ്റ് ഹാൻഡ് സൈഡ് കോളത്തിൽ എവിടെയാണ്? ബി, വേജസ് ആൻഡ് സാലറി. സോ 1ന്റെ ഈക്വൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് ബി ആണ്. ഓക്കെ. നൗ സെക്കൻഡ്, പ്രൊഫഷൻ എന്താണ്? പ്രൊഫഷന് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ when you become an auditor, when you start your own CA firm, you are a professional. ആ പ്രൊഫഷൻസിന് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇൻകം ഡിറൈവ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ത്രൂ ഫീസ്. സോ 2 is equal to B. E. So ബിയും ഇയും. Let us search the alternatives options. B and D. First A and B ആണ്. Second B and C ആണ്. Third option B and D. Okay. So I think most probably it would be C. Option number C. നമുക്ക് verify ചെയ്യാം. Third, business എന്താണ്? Business ഇതിന്റെ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നത് reward എന്താണ്? Profit. Profit അല്ലേ? So third ന്റെ A ആണ്. Okay, correct. C option ആണ് നോക്കിയേ. അതിൻ്റെ അത് third point in the answer A ആണ്. Correct. Now land നോക്കിയേ. Land ൽ നിന്ന് എന്താണ് കിട്ടുന്നത്? When you have some land, you can lease out. Lease ൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നത് rent. 4D. Correct. It is there. Now fifth one നോക്കിയേ. Fifth one, lending. When you have excess money, you lend it to your friend or somebody who knows, and they will pay you what? Interest. So interest എവിടെയാണ്? 5C. Correct. 5C. Correct. So the right option is for one is C. First question answer C. So guys, let us move to the second question. Which of the following statements distinguishes business from entrepreneurship? Business and entrepreneurship in the main differentiating point ഏതാണ്? Entrepreneurs are business owners too. All business owners are entrepreneurs too. Entrepreneurs, എല്ലാ entrepreneursum business owners ആണോ? നമുക്കറിയാം entrepreneurs എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ they have a wider idea, a bigger vision, അല്ലേ? For them, it is not only the profit that matters, but various other objectives are also there. They are looking for sustainable business. So entrepreneurs obviously, all entrepreneurs are business owners തന്നെയാണ്. No doubt about it. All business owners are entrepreneurs. എല്ലാ business owners entrepreneurs ആണെന്നുണ്ടോ? No. Why? Because business എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, business person എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, they have a very limited view. They have a very limited view of only profit. Profit മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ അവരുടെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. But entrepreneurs അങ്ങനെയാണോ? അല്ല. So എല്ലാ business owners-നെയും entrepreneur എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിന്റെ അർത്ഥമില്ല. Then third point, entrepreneurs seek out new opportunities and pursue innovative business ideas. Entrepreneurs പുതിയ opportunities നോക്കും and they have a wider vision. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു. So this is the striking differentiation between entrepreneurs and businessmen. Businessman സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അവന് ഷോർട്ട് ടേം പ്രോഫിറ്റ് മാത്രമേ നോക്കൂ. They will not have a bigger vision. ഒരു സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ ഒരു പുതിയ ചേഞ്ച് കൊണ്ടുവരണമെന്നോ അങ്ങനെയൊന്നും for them it is not a concern. But for an entrepreneur ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, entrepreneur is a much more noble way of addressing a businessman with a social objective, a social cause കൂടെ നോക്കുന്നയാളാണ് entrepreneur. So the point number C is the differentiating point. A and B ഒരിക്കലും വരില്ല because B is wrong. So point C is the differentiating factor between entrepreneurship and business. Then third question, which of the following statements does not comprise business activity? ഏതാണ് business activity അല്ലാത്തത്? Sale of old furniture by a household for profit. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫർണിച്ചർ വിറ്റു for profit. വിറ്റ് കാശ് മേടിച്ചു. You have profit with you. And then a carpenter made furniture for its domestic use. ഒരാള് അയാളുടെ ആവശ്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടി തന്നെ ഒരു ഫർണിച്ചർ ഉണ്ടാക്കി. It's for self consumption. വീട്ടിലുണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ഫുഡ് we are not supposed to sell. We are not going to sell. So അങ്ങനത്തെ കേസിൽ it's not a business അല്ലേ? അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് for his purpose he made a furniture. It is not meant for resale. So is that a business activity? No, it's a self consumption. Self consumption വേണ്ടി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതൊന്നും business activity ആണെന്ന് അല്ല. We have seen in case of agriculture. Then Steel furniture, obviously, so evident, so B is the answer. Steel next to steel furniture industry. Steel furniture industry is a manufacturing concern, it's part of business. Then domestic appliance industry, same, it's an industry. Industry in the factory. Factory, of course, it's for business. Then, which of the following is fourth question? So the third in the answer B are fourth question. Which of the following is not an economic objective of the firm? Economic objective. And then economic objective, cash related objective. Sales growth, of course. It is something which has a monetary dimension. So so it is an economic objective. Not economic objective. Improvement in market share, of course, economic objective. Market build up here, business build up here. So it is an economic objective. Profits and return on investment. Profits and return on investment. Profit, cash ഉണ്ടാക്കുക, ലാഭം ഉണ്ടാക്കുക, ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റിൽ എത്ര റിട്ടേൺ കിട്ടിയെന്ന് നോക്കുക. So those are all economic objectives. Then conservation of natural resource. What is that? നിങ്ങളുടെ ചുറ്റുമുള്ള നാച്ചുറൽ റിസോഴ്സിനെ കൺസർവ് ചെയ്യുക. Is that a profit objective? Is that an economic objective? അല്ല, economic objective എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? Something which is related to money, generation of money. Whereas non-economic objective എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ non-economic objective എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it doesn't have money as a primary consideration. So conservation of natural resource നമ്മൾ കണ്ടതാണ്. It is coming under the social objective. ബിസിനസിന്റെ social objective. പല objective ഉണ്ടെന്ന് നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചായിരുന്നു. So this conservation of natural resource is coming under social objective. So that is not an economic objective. So that is the answer. For fourth answer is D. Then moving on, fifth question. Trading implies buying for the purpose of selling. Applying this criteria, tell which of the following activities would not qualify for trading. ഏതാണ് trading അല്ലാതിരിക്കുന്നത്? Which one is not trade? Purchase of goods in bulk from manufacturing and sale in smaller quantities to retailers. വലിയ amount സാധനം മേടിച്ചു and you are selling it in retail. Part of trade. Buying from wholesaler and selling it to consumers. ഹോൾസെയിലറിൽ നിന്ന് മേടിച്ച് കൺസ്യൂമറിന് വിറ്റു. That is also trade. അയാൾ മേടിച്ച സാധനം അയാൾ വിൽക്കുന്നത് it is for the purpose of a profit. So that is also a trade. Then third point, buying from the retailer for self-consumption. നമ്മുടെ ആവശ്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടി നമ്മൾ സാധനങ്ങൾ മേടിച്ചു. You are not going to sell it for. നിങ്ങൾ വീണ്ടും വിൽക്കാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല. So in that case, is that a trade? No. Because it is for you, self-consumption വേണ്ടി മേടിച്ചാണ്. So that is not trade. So C is the right answer. Purchase of next to D option ഓട് നോക്കാം. Purchase of raw materials from supplier for further processing in the factory. Input മേടിച്ചു, output ഉണ്ടാക്കും. Because it's trade. And you have sixth question. Which of the following occupations requires rendering of services based upon specialized knowledge and membership in an accredited and assessment body? നമുക്ക് അറിയാം, വളരെ സിമ്പിൾ ആണ്. നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് തന്നെ അതിനു വേണ്ടിയാണ്. For getting that qualification to carry on a profession. Chartered accountancy requires membership in an accredited body, which is ICAI. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ എല്ലാ പ്രൊഫഷനും you require membership in an accredited body. So profession is the answer. Seventh question. The occupation in which people work for others and get remunerated in return. Very simple. You work and you get paid. Where? Employment. So employment, B is the answer for seventh question. Eighth one. Which of the following statements describes the best joint Hindu or Hindu undivided family business? HUF in the definition ആണ് ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. First one നോക്കാം. It is a form of business particular to and recognized as such in India. That is right. Every family business is in fact an HUF business. Allah. Can a Muslim family run an HUF? No. Only 4 religions: Hindu, Buddhism, Jain, and Sikh. That's it. So, B എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ option തെറ്റാണ്. Then C, in HUF businesses, there is family involvement in business. Correct ആണല്ലോ. It is the family who is running the business. It is family who is running the business. No, D എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് എന്താണ് പറയുന്നത്? Either A or C. Correct. Aയും Cയും ഏതേലും ഒന്ന്, that is right. So, option D is the right answer for question number 8. Now, moving on. 9th question. Sustainable development or business implied. Sustainable development അല്ലെങ്കിൽ business എന്താണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്? Sustainable development എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? It consists of many objectives. ബിസിനസിന്റെ പല പല ഡിഫറെന്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ്സ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ കൂടിച്ചേർന്ന് when you are trying to build up a business, that is called sustainable business. Option number A, consistent economic performance. Adu oru objective aanu. Attention to social problems. Ade social objective aanu. Harmony with nature. Nature concern aanu. So all these three, all of the above is the right answer. 10th question, which are the following statements characterizes the best non-economic activities? Non-economic activities ne characterize cheyuna statement thade edana? First one, non-economic activities do not require any investment of resource. No, absolutely no. Because ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നു, whenever you are trying to make your neighborhood community greener by planting some saplings, you have to buy saplings, alle? For that you require money. So അതുകൊണ്ട് resources ഉണ്ടാവും. Although it is non-economic activity. Economic activity എന്താണ്? It is something which you do for your livelihood. Non-economic activity out of self-interest and for altruistic purpose, where ആൾക്കാരുടെ ബെനിഫിറ്റിന് വേണ്ടി. Non-economic activity does not require any investment resources എന്ന തെറ്റാണ്. These activities do not entail any operational cost. False. It requires money. കുറച്ച് കാശൊക്കെ വേണ്ടി വരും. These activities are undertaken by ascetics. Ascetics എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? The person ഈ സ്വയവിരക്തിയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെന്ന് കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? എല്ലാം വിട്ടെറിഞ്ഞ് ത്യാഗി, സ്വയം ത്യാഗി എന്നൊക്കെ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? So that is called ascetics. These activities are undertaken by ascetics. No, not of course. എല്ലാരും ascetics ആണോന്നൊന്നുമില്ല. Anybody can do any non-economic activity. Fourth point, the underlying purpose of these activities is not earning for a livelihood, but social, psychological, or spiritual satisfaction. Absolutely, that is the definition itself. Economic activity എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ something which you are doing for earning your livelihood, whereas non-economic activity are activities that are meant for not earning a livelihood, but social or psychological or spiritual satisfaction. So option number D is the right answer for question number 10. 11th question, Indian Companies Act provides for the registration of എന്ത് kind of companies ആയിക്കോട്ടെ. Under Indian Companies Act, you are mandated to register. You have to register. So all companies, private limited, public limited, one person company, any company you take, it has to be registered under Companies Act. So all of the above is the answer for that. Then question number 12, find the odd one out. ഏതാണ് ഇത്തിരി മാറി നിൽക്കുന്നത്? A partnership may be formed to carry on any trade. വിൽപ്പനയ്ക്ക് any trade means it's business വേണ്ടിയാണല്ലോ basically partnership. Profession പറ്റുമോ? Professionum പറ്റും. Chartered accountants can enter into partnership. Occupation എന്ന് ഇവർ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് basically രണ്ട് occupation, business and employment. Business and profession, business and employment അവർ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ലെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. Because majority of the occupation എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ആ ഒരു കാറ്റഗറിയിൽ അവർ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. So profession and business, anyway you can be under partnership. You can make as a partnership. So അതുകൊണ്ട് occupationum പറ്റും. So the last one, social enterprise. എന്താണ് social enterprise? Something which is created for the benefit of the society. Societyയുടെ ബെനിഫിറ്റിന് വേണ്ടി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത് basically partnership ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, because partnership's major objective is earning profit. So society benefit it has to be NGO, NPO, non-government organization, by way of non-profit organization, cooperatives, so അതൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും ഈ സോഷ്യൽ അതിനൊക്കെയാണ് സോഷ്യൽ എന്റർപ്രൈസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ആ ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ എന്റർപ്രൈസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാനായിട്ട് മെയിൻലി യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറില്ല. സോ സോഷ്യൽ എന്റർപ്രൈസ് ആണ് the odd one out of this four. The 12th answer is D. Now we have 13th question. There can be partnership between ആരൊക്കെ ആയിട്ട് പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും? നാച്ചുറൽ പേഴ്സൺസ്, ഞാനും നിങ്ങളും ആയിട്ട് പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. നോ പ്രോബ്ലം ഇൻ ഇറ്റ്. Artificial persons. Artificial persons എന്താണ്? Artificial persons means companies. പല different, like ഒരു കമ്പനി വേറൊരു കമ്പനിയുമായിട്ട് with other natural persons, definitely they can form a partnership. So artificial persons is possible. Partnership firms with another partnership firm, വേറൊരു partnership ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ? No, കാരണം എന്താണ്? Because partnership firm is not does not have a separate legal entity. Separate legal entity is applicable only in case of companies. അതൊരു സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ഒരു ആളല്ല. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ആൻ ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ പേഴ്സൺ. പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ആൻ ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ പേഴ്സൺ. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ രണ്ട് പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് തമ്മിൽ വേറൊരു പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഒരു കടക്കകത്ത് പെട്ടിക്കട ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ലെന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ രണ്ട് പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് കൂടിയാൽ ഒരു പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ബട്ട് പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് ക്യാൻ മേക്ക് എ ന്യൂ പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ്. സോ രണ്ട് പാർട്ണർഷിപ്പ് ഫേംസ് പറ്റില്ല. എനി കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ഓഫ് നാച്ചുറൽ ആൻഡ് ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ പേഴ്സൺ, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. ഇപ്പൊ ഞാനും വേറൊരു വലിയൊരു കമ്പനിയും കൂടി വേറൊരു കമ്പനി ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. നോ പ്രോബ്ലം, ബിക്കോസ് ദാറ്റ് കമ്പനി ഈസ് ഓൾസോ എ പേഴ്സൺ. In fact, the other company which I am going to partner with, get associated with, is a person. So രണ്ടുപേരും artificial persons ആണ്. ഒരാൾ natural person, ഒരാൾ artificial person ആണ്. So possible. So what stands out is partnership firms. So 13th answer is option number C. Then coming to 14th question, HUF can comprise members of. HUF can comprise members of. ഏതൊക്കെ ഫാമിലീസിനാണ് HUF എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ സ്ട്രക്ചർ പോസിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്? ഫസ്റ്റ് വൺ, ഹിന്ദു ആൻഡ് സിഖ്, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. ബുദ്ധിസ്റ്റ്, യെസ്, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. ജെയിൻ, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. Muslim family, no. Under Hindu Succession Act, only these four religions are possible. Unfortunately, Muslims are left out. So Muslims are not permitted to take up HUF as a business structure. Moving on, 15th question, which is true or false. A shareholder cannot be personally held liable for the acts of the company, even if he holds virtually the entire share capital. ഞാനൊരു ഷെയർ ഹോൾഡർ ആണ്. I hold 100% of shares in my company, but company went into some trouble. Company gets liquidated. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ will I be able to be held responsible? No, because for anything which is, even if the company goes wrong, company is liable because company is a separate person. You cannot touch the shareholder. Separate legal entity concept, one of the most distinguishing and the benefiting part of business, the corporate structure. So answer is false. True. A shareholder cannot be held liable for the acts of the company. The answer is true. 15th is true. Then going on, 16th question. The feature of limited liability for business ownings is a principal advantage of the corporate form of organization. Limited liability, വളരെ important characteristic of a company. Even if the business goes wrong, മേളി പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ തന്നെ, he cannot be held responsible because shareholder is always having limited liability. കമ്പനി ലിമിറ്റഡ് എന്നാണ് എഴുതുന്നത്. ഏത് കമ്പനിയുടെയും company you can see private limited company, public limited company. What does that mean? Your liability is limited to the extent of shares you own. So limited liability is a feature. That's a principal advantage. Correct. True. The maximum number of members of a private limited company is 50. False. 200. 200 is the answer. So false. A public company is exempted from constituting certain mandatory committees of board of directors. No. Because public limited company basic disadvantage when it comes to private limited company is the more cost of compliance. More cost of compliance because in public limited company you are bound to create lot of committees, different committees. Pala committees so because of that, public limited companies is not exempted. So a public limited is exempted from constituting major committees. It is a false statement. The 19th question, an HUF is a body corporate. No, there are only two body corporates. One is a company and LLP. നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് കമ്പനിയും LLP ഒഴിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ബാക്കിയെല്ലാം ബോഡി കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് അല്ല. ബോഡി കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ലീഗൽ എൻറ്റിറ്റി കൺസെപ്റ്റ് അല്ല. HUF എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് ഇറ്റ്സെൽഫ് ഇസ് ദ ബിസിനസ്. They are the face of the business. That is a false statement. 20th question. Put the serial numbers of activities given below into the baskets labeled as economic and non-economic activity. Economic and non-economic activity. Very simple. Cooking of food by a homemaker. And differentiating category, differentiating nature, earning for livelihood. It's for the purpose of earning your bread and butter. That is called economic activity. Cooking of food by homemaker for self-consumption? No. It is not an economic activity. Non-economic activity. The Bawala picks up food from home and delivers it to office. Office like food delivery it's for earning his livelihood. So economic activity. Playing of piano as a hobby, pleasure. You are not going to earn anything out of it. So non-economic. Pianist in a band. Band professional play Sorry guys, something got interrupted. Okay guys, so okay, so the Bawala case he is doing it for earning his income, so that is a economic activity. Then playing a piano, okay, piano pianist in a band, he's doing it for the for livelihood, so that is also a economic activity. Music composer, he composes music for films and he get paid for it, so it is also a economic activity. Elder sibling assisting the younger one in studies, you are helping your little sibling. So our case it is non-economic activity. You're not doing it for money. Giving private tuitions, the number of tuition classes, is that a non-economic activity? No. The teachers teaching you will be paid. So that is an economic activity. Shopping, you are exchanging money. So that is an economic activity. Cycle repair shop, it is a shop as such. So you have to, he has to be paid for it. So that is an economic activity. Ice cream vendor, ice cream vendor, of course it's an economic activity. He sells ice cream and get paid for it. Exercising in the park, non-economic activity. Fitness training, there are in a gym they provide fitness training services, that is an economic activity. He gets paid for it. Volunteering in an old age home, it's a volunteering. You are doing it out of your self-interest. I mean, for others, benefit, you are doing it. So that is a economic act, non-economic activity. Employment in a charitable organization, even though it is a charitable organization, the purpose charity anengil polum, you are an employee of it. For a charitable organization, the employee, you are getting paid by way of salary. So in that case, that is also an economic activity. Laundry shop. You have to pay for the services. That is also economic activity. So guys, we have finished the entire questions in this chapter. So the chapter is done with, but before giving a full stop, let me just give you a brief recap again. In this chapter, we started with what is BCK. BCK എന്താണെന്ന് കണ്ടു. The characteristics of BCK. BCK is vast. BCK is eclectic. Pala disciplines pala words in business knowledge domain like vannitundu. Then we have seen BCK is ever expanding. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ you have to be updated every day. At least read the business line. I mean, one page in the newspaper relating to business. Then we have seen different kind of occupation. Pala kind of occupations nammal kandu. Endokkana major occupations. One is employment. The most popular one, employment. It is under an employment contract in the kandu. You get paid every month a particular amount with no risk at all. There is complete certainty. And then we have seen profession. Profession, you should have a particular qualification from an accredited body. Then we have seen what is business. Business in business in the three-tier definition can do. Business is very much uncertain. There are a lot of risks involved in business. So all these things we have seen. So that was the first session. First session, of course, business in different objectives, multi-disciplines, multi-objectives. Pala objectives in a meet when the business is run, then that is called what? That is called sustainable business. That is called sustainable business. Sustainable business and then in the sessionil we have seen the different way of business organization, different kinds of business organization. Sole proprietorship and the most easiest form, the most convenient form, the earliest form. Or a single person there in the business. He is the owner, he is the boss of the game. He has got complete autonomy among other business organization. Then we have seen partnership. Partnership it is co-ownership basically. Every partnership has a contractual understanding which is deed, based on partnership deed, an agreement which is contractually enforceable between the partners. That is called partnership deed. Partnership deed, which is a deed where partnership. Then we have seen LLP, limited liability partnership. What is the major distinction? It is limited liability. Owners in a limited liability, where personal assets remains always safe. But whereas in case of partnership, no. Your personal assets can also be held responsible when the partnership goes into insolvency. Then we have ultimately seen, before that we have seen HUF into undivided family. Into undivided family major karta. It can be a joint family when they take up a business, that is called Hindu undivided family. And the other only 4 religions are allowed: Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, and Jain. Muslims are not allowed. Christians are not allowed. Then ultimately we have seen the most advanced form, a company, corporate company. I think there are the advantages, disadvantages, and the characteristics. The separation of ownership from management, its limited liability concept. We have seen the separate legal entity concept. When a company is formed, it has got it will be an artificial person. It has got a separate identity other than the shareholders' identity. So, ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും നേരവും കണ്ടത്. So, I hope you understood everything. Hope you have enjoyed the video. I had some, technical troubles in between. Please bear with me. We will sort it out soon. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good day. Bye.